Kia ora. Welcome again to the RebeccaAnneKnits knitting podcast. I'm Bex and I am a knitter from the Hutt Valley in Wellington, New Zealand, and this is my little corner of the internet where I love to share about all the things that I am knitting and crafting on. You see we're in a different location today. If you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, this may look a little bit different. Over the summertime I have reorganised my yarn stash and put it in a new spot with similar but new storage solutions. So welcome to my wool wall, my own little personal yarn store, and this is where I get to come and shop my stash. It takes on a whole new meaning when it's set up like this, and so this is where I'm going to come and podcast from, I hope, in the future. I have a couch arriving for this space hopefully this week or next week, waiting for a delivery from IKEA, and so once that's here I'll have, it might look slightly different again, but this is where we are today. So welcome, thank you for joining me, Happy New Year. It's taken me a wee bit of time to come back and be part of make another podcast because it has been busy. It's been a busy holiday season for me and my family. I've been working through for the first time ever this year, and it's taken a whole lot more resilience and emotional stamina than I expected it would. But despite that, I've of course still been knitting away. So today I would like to share with you what I have been working on over December and January since I spoke with you last. Share my finished objects and also do a bit of a WIP roundup because I'd like to talk a little bit about my stats from 2025 and also my intentions and goals for 2026. I don't have a everything I knit in 2025 video yet. I do hope to maybe make one of those, but I just don't have the capacity to get all of that together at this point. But I would like to talk through the statistics that I have, the numbers that I've kept track of, and my plans going forward, which, fair warning, with this match stash are quite extensive plans and probably way too ambitious for what I can actually achieve. But hey, why not aim high? Anyway, so let's get into it. I'm not wearing any knitwear today because it is summertime, it's really warm. In this new space, we've been converting our garage into like a studio apartment, and this space doesn't yet have any electricity, so there's no air conditioning or lighting, so I had to pick my time of day to come out and film this, so hopefully I don't die of heat. And hopefully the lighting is alright. I'm a bit side lit here, but I don't have many other options right now. So I'll keep working on that as we move along. So I have I usually track all my knits on my phone, and I also record on my phone. So I've written them all out in my handy dandy little knitting podcast notebook. So in 2025, to talk about my statistics, I knit 59 items, which I was quite surprised at because I really felt like I knit a lot less in 2025 than I had hoped to, and a lot less than I had in previous years. But I still managed to make 59 items, so I'm kind of impressed with myself with that. Out of those 59 items, 21 of those were gift knits, 9 of those were test knits, and then to break it kind of down into categories, I made 6 adult size garments. Now other years I have made like 20 garments, so that's quite different. I made 7 kids or baby knits, 2 blankets, 4 shawls, 3 hats, 3 pairs of mitts, 1 gnome, 1 adult size dress, like a dress for myself, 1 cowl, 1 yarn pod, and 1 cup cuff. So there you go, that's a breakdown of what I made in 2025. If you have been a follower of my podcast, you have probably seen almost all of that. Oh, and I forgot to say 28 pairs of socks. Yes, quite a few pairs of socks happened throughout 2025. So if you have been a watcher of my podcast, you will have seen almost all of that sporadically throughout the year as I have shared my WIPs and FOs on here. So I may try and make a video showing, I mean a lot of them, 21 were gift knits, so 21 of those items I don't even have. And some of them were test knits, and I did some test knits that, for one of my friends as well. And yeah, there's lots of things I don't actually physically have, or that many of the pairs of socks have got well used already, so they're not really in pristine condition to be shown on a podcast. But I will potentially make a video about all of that, but if not, that is the little summary. I do have some days off coming up at the end of January and the first week of February, so if I feel so inspired, I might make that Everything I Knit in 2025 video then. So, what have I been knitting on since the last time I talked to you? Now, I know I did talk about a giveaway in my last episode, and I have completely forgotten to draw prizes for the people who commented on that video. So I will draw the prize, I will draw the winners and pop in a visual clip that I will pop at the end of this video. So hang on till the end if you commented on my previous December 2-year anniversary episode, and see if you're the winner of the beautiful mini skeins. I did bring them with me. You should see the pile of stuff that I brought with me out here. Because usually I keep all my WIPs in my house. Here are the crinkly, sorry. Beautiful Dreamfire Artesian Yarns fade set, mini skein sets that I'm giving away for my 2-year podcasting anniversary. So, I will draw that and let you know at the end of the video. One moment please. Sorry, I was interrupted there by my daughter, who of course is home on school holidays. I thought I would get space and run away from them by being out here, but no, they still found me. Only like 5 minutes in. Anyway, I'll have a talk to you about what I finished. So, I didn't actually go back and review what I said in my last video, but I know that I must have been working on my Kulu test knit vest, surely. I finished that anyway. I can't remember where I was up to, whether I'd finished it, whether I podcasted at the start of December, didn't I? Honestly guys, I am really out of touch with my own agenda, but I will show you this. This is one of the test knits I completed last year. This is the Kulu vest. It is coming out late in January, I believe. And this is knit in Pearl Soho linen quill, which I was kindly gifted a couple of years ago. And I have some beautiful New Zealand mother of pearl buttons on there. This is designed to be an opening button-down vest that you can wear as a layering piece. But because I was knitting mine in the summertime, I thought I would make mine out of a summery yarn, and I've actually knit it to pattern, but then admitted the buttonholes and just stitched the button band shut so that I can have it secured well, so I can wear it more as a summer top. Now mine is very cropped. It is more cropped than the pattern calls for. It fits perfectly with my high-waisted white denim skirt, and so I kind of custom made the lengths to fit with that particular outfit, and it's just long enough. I thought it would lengthen a little bit more with blocking, but it didn't, hardly at all. I do still have a bit of yarn left. I had 2 skeins and I haven't used the entirety. I still have a decent bit of the second skein left. I've been holding it double because this is a fingering weight yarn and it was a DK weight pattern. So I do have enough left to add another repeat onto the bottom. But because I have done the finishing, excuse me, I would have to undo all this finishing and knit the bottom flat and then finish it all again to make it kind of all work and look seamless, and I'm not convinced that I want it long enough. I want it longer enough to do that. But yeah, I really like it. It's not quite as bright as it is blowing out. The colourway is called Bright Flamingo, so it is very bright, but it's not quite as bright as it looks on camera. So I haven't really worn it much yet because I have been waiting to take finished object photos and for the release, but yeah, I really enjoyed this knit and it was really quick. And it was really nice to finally get to use that Pearl Soho linen quill, which is a lovely yarn. I really enjoyed working with it. So I finished that since I talked to you last. Honestly, I haven't been doing a whole lot of finishing. I've just been doing it because I've got so many WIPs. I finished my December socks. I don't know if I had finished them when I was working on it. I didn't bring them with me because I've been wearing them and I feel like ages ago that I finished them. I can put in a photo though. This is my final month of the Mama Wooling year of socks that I was doing, and I made a pair of self-drafted bow socks because bows seem to be the thing this Christmas, and the kind of like pinky red colour that I used for the bows was a commercial sock yarn from Skeins that I had in my stash, and then the variegated green colourway is the one that Mama Wooling sent for December. It was called Wreath, I think, and I really enjoyed knitting those up. So I finished those, of course, because I couldn't fail on the final month because I had to finish those. I finished all my teacher gift knits. I don't know where I was up to either with those when I finished talking to you last time, but I made a cup cuff. I finished a shawl whip that I found when clearing out some of my stash that had been languishing for years. I finished that off and gifted that to one teacher, and then I made 2 pairs of fingerless mitts. I think I had finished them, or was close to. Maybe I'd made one of each. There was a pink pair of cloud mitts and cloudburst mitts, and then there was a purple pair of, I've forgotten the name of that design. Anyway, I finished all those teacher gift knits and they were received very gratefully from what my children report. And sorry, I keep looking this way because this is where my humongous pile of stuff is. What else have I been working on since the last podcast? Had I started my gnome on the last podcast? I don't know, but I did do the mystery gnome along with Imagine Landscapes this year. I didn't last year, but one of my good friends did, and I was a wee bit jelly because it seemed really fun. So I thought I would do it this year. And so here is my Nandad. Isn't he so cute? I'm really stoked with how he turned out. I went with kind of like a pinky purple theme because I do have a pinky purple gnome that I did for the Professor Fungi knit along as well. I have another child interruption. Guys, this is going to be a bitsy podcast. Hold on a moment. Children, school holidays, makes it impossible to do anything. Anyway, this is my Nandad, and I was saying about the colour scheme because my Professor Fungi is kind of a purpley sort of colour, and I thought I'd like to have them all kind of go. And I did do the beard and the moustache different from in the pattern. In the pattern it's a knitted beard and a moustache that's kind of like this tassel is. But I decided that I really wanted to use just the alpaca fibre that I used to stuff the guy with. I used that to make his beard and mo, and I just love it. And the glasses come from my friend Helen, who made Nana last year, because she had glasses and she brought a whole little pack. And so I have some glasses for my Nana as well, which you will see later on. I am now making last year's mystery gnome, which was Nana, to go with Nandad, and out of the leftovers of the same colourway, so a different configuration but same colours. So he's my little cute guy. This slip stitch colour work on the hat there, and he's got this like it's not a Latvian braid, it's this Estonian braid, I think, and little suspenders. He's just cute, love him, he's very cool. So I was working on him and I finished him in December. And amongst that, I've been working on my Lanark test knit, which I think I mentioned last time, but maybe hadn't started. We're working on some other socks that I kind of did in between. My other finished object though, I've got 2 other finished objects which I'll share with you, and then I'll kind of talk you through my 2026 WIPs that are coming with me and my plans. So I started these on the 23rd, so I'll show you these first. This is a pair of socks I haven't woven in the ends. Whoops. My friend Helen gifted me this beautiful yarn. It's by Waikiwi. It's Waikiwi yarn, which is a discontinued yarn now, but it's a possum alpaca merino nylon sock blend. And she managed to get some on a D-stash. And I got 5 balls from her, so I started, as soon as I got it, I fell in love with it, and I used a mini skein from my stash for the heel toe, the cuff and the toe, and knit that up. They come in 50-gram balls, and I finished this pair of socks. I do have 2. And these are my new sock blockers from Lupine that I got when I went to Auckland recently. So they're very cool. I love them. I think I showed you last time. This is my first time getting to show them on the podcast. Yeah, so I made these. Now, I knit them to my normal gauge with my normal needles, with my normal stitch count, but they're quite wide on my foot, so I think this yarn just knits up a bit bigger than the Mama Woolen yarn that I've been using so much of. So I'm going to give these ones back to Helen, who gifted me the yarn, because she has a slightly wider foot than me, but the same length, so they will go to her when I've woven in the ends. They'll be lovely and warm with that possum and alpaca content. And the other thing that I've cast on and finished, this was my Christmas Eve cast on, and this is a ranunculus. Now, I showed you last time, I think, that I brought some Cardiff Cashmere Prime when I went to Lupine, when I brought the sock blockers, and I used that along with a skein of lace weight alpaca silk from Yeah yarn, and I held the the alpaca lace double along with the Cardiff Cashmere, which is also a lace weight, so 3 lace weight strands, and made this beautiful ranunculus. It is the softest thing I have ever knit or ever handled. Oh my goodness, it's so divine. So this is ranunculus by Midori Hirose, and I did a short sleeve version. I have leftover, so I could have done longer sleeves. I just had 2 balls of the prime, and I've used about 1 1/3. I knit it to a length that fits with my high-waisted shorts and jeans and skirts, and I did put the sleeves on hold so I could make them longer if I wanted to, but I actually decided just to have a t-shirt length sleeve. I did the size 2 on the recommended needles, 6mm, and I absolutely adore it. It is so lush, it is so soft. The 2 strands of different colours came together so beautifully to make this lovely lush fabric. I really thought it was going to be quite see-through because of the colour and the openness of the fabric, but I can wear this with just a bra underneath and you can't tell, and I'm really stoked with that. So there you go, that is my beautiful Christmas Eve cast on, and I cast it off the first couple of days of January. It's the first week of January. What is it today? Today is the 12th, and I've had it finished for quite a while. I knit on it quite a lot on the 29th when we went to the cricket. Somewhere around New Year's I finished it. That's right, I was trying to finish, I started Christmas Eve, and I was really trying to finish it on New Year's Eve because I thought that was quite poetic, but I didn't manage to get it finished on New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Day, I think New Year's Day, that I finished it. So that was my between Christmas and New Year knit, and I absolutely love it. And I will cherish it because Yeah Yarn have announced that they are no longer going to be dyeing for a while. So, and that was a one-of-a-kind colourway as well, so that was really beautiful. I think I have enough left over to do something with, so I might make some mitts. Probably have more than I need for mitts. Maybe a hat, or a little skinny scarf. I've I just don't really wear scarves or hats. So I'm still deciding what to do with the leftovers. Maybe it would be enough to do colour work and something. I just don't know if that would really show off the cashmere for what it's worth, you know, like it's just so luxe. It would be lovely to have it like shine, and in colour work you're not really going to get it to shine the same, like appreciate its softness. I'm still working on that, still working on what we'll do with the leftovers. But that's my other finished object to show you. So I now have a massive pile of WIPs here. Let me see if I can show you. I have this massive pile of project bags down here that I now want to talk through, because this, going into 2026, I have a lot of WIPs from 2025 that I've had a big think about, and I kind of want to keep all of them. None of them are really frog worthy, they're all finish worthy. So I counted them all up and I actually have 9. I have 9 active WIPs, some that have been in kind of hibernation, but 9 WIPs that I would like to finish. And so I thought this whole make 9 thing is quite a thing, and I've never ever been able to settle on just 9 things I'd like to knit for a year. So I thought I would do a little spin on make 9, and I am going to finish 9 WIPs this year. I would like to make 9 sweaters. I've picked my top 9 that I have in my queue, that I have yarn in my stash for, which is subject to change, but I've picked 9 for now. So finish 9, make 9. I would like to gift 9. As I said in my stats, I gifted 21 things this year, and I would like to gift at least 9 things this coming year, in 2026. Because I have so much yarn, and I have so many knitted items already for myself, that it seems perfectly reasonable to be spending my knitting time gifting to those who are knit worthy. So finish 9, make 9, gift 9, and also I would quite like to spin 9. I have been part of the Handmaiden Fibre Club for the last year, since I started spinning, and I absolutely love her Fibre Club. It's really good value, and every month is a surprise. You get a surprise base with a surprise colourway along a theme. Last year's theme was birth flowers, and this year's theme is birth stones, gemstones. So that's quite cool. So I'm really, I'm keeping that fibre club going into 2026. I've received January's, and I'll show you that soon. And so I would quite like to spin 9 as well. So for that fibre club, I get 100 grams of fibre each month, and I would quite like to spin that up, not necessarily in the month I receive it, but out of the 12 I will receive this year, to have spun 9 of them by the end of the year, and then hopefully I can make some projects out of that moving forward. Yeah, so make 9, gift 9, finish 9, and spin 9, because I can't just have 9. Yeah, so let's have a little talk about those 9 WIPs that will be coming through into 2026 with me. First one on my list, that's an absolute must finish, because it's a test knit, is my Lanark. This is the test knit I am doing for the Crater Bayer. The Lanark is a pattern she's previously released, which is half fisherman's rib all over quarter zip sweater. She's releasing a stockinette version, variation to that. And she's also coming out with it in feminine and masculine sizes. So I signed up to test knit size 4 in the masculine size, so this is going to be for my husband. So here we go. It's a little bit hard to show because it is big and floppy, but because the collar is quite heavy in comparison to the rest of the fabric. But this is it. I have just recently joined in the round. You can see there, I've just got this little, got about a centimetre below the join. So it's a drop shoulder construction. You start by knitting the back, the collar. Actually you knit 18 centimetres, 20 centimetres of 1x1 rib, and then fold it over, knit the two together, stitches together at the bottom. It looks quite see-through in this light. not actually in real life. And then you do some short rows to shape the shoulders and knit down the back panel. Then you pick up from the shoulders and do the two fronts with a bit of short row shaping as well. And then you join in the round, and now I'm just doing oodles and oodles and oodles of stockinette down to be the length that will fit my 6'6" tall husband. There is a lot of length in it. It is not a big size garment, although it would probably fit me ease-wise. Like, I often knit a size 4 in crochet patterns for myself, a size 4 or size 5. This is a masculine size 4, so it is bigger than a feminine size 4, or at least shaped a bit more wide in the shoulders. So you can see that would be quite a drop shoulder on me, but I could fit it width-wise. He's quite slim, but just very tall, but it will go on forever. So I have the full body and the sleeves to do, and this one has to be done. The deadline for this is about the 18th of February. So I still have about 6 weeks till this one is due. No, not quite that long, 5 weeks. But I've done all the thinking. I just now need to knit. For this, I am using a giant cone of black yarn. You can't actually see here. If I tilt the camera, you can see I have all my cones living at the top of my yarn stash here. See, it goes on a bit further than what you can see. But I have a giant cone of a wool possum blend in jet black that I got from the Wool Yarns cone sale, local to me. I got this one not in 2026, in 2025. It's like a 2.5 kilo cone. There's plenty of yarn on there, and I'm using that for this knit. Just adjust this again. It's a DK weight. It's a 21 stitch gauge, I believe, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's been really great. It is quite hot to knit on in the summertime because it is a wool possum blend. It's a hand wash yarn. It's a big man's jersey, so I'm just knitting on it when and where I have the opportunity. But this is kind of one of my top focuses because it is a test knit and there's still a lot of knitting to do on it. I mean, I do need to get it done by a specific date. So that's WIP number 1. That is most definitely coming with me into this year. WIP 2 is my Sailor Swift top by RebeccaAnneKnits. So you may, oh, it's way over there, excuse me a moment. You may remember that I cast this on as part of the RebeccaAnneKnits cal that Lovely Day Knits was doing, Lovely Alicia. And I am knitting this in a combination of mama wooling and skein yarn, hand-dyed yarns. So this is a Sailor Swift top by RebeccaAnneKnits. I've done all the hard work on this one as well. I am just literally doing the body, and then I just have to do I-cord finishes everywhere. So I'm probably about 1/3 of the way down the body, maybe close to half actually, depending on how long I want it to be. This is a summer top, singlet top, and it has these stripes that you can see. The plain coloured one is bigger than the variegated one. And the 2 yarns I'm using, this is the one from Skein Yarn that is variegated, and this is the one from Mama Wooling, Smoky Quartz. But there's actually parts in this skein yarn that are almost exactly the same colour as the Smoky Quartz, so they blend quite beautifully and don't look quite as stripy as the original. Was quite defined stripes. I don't find myself gravitating towards stripes ever. So occasionally I like things that are stripy, but like none of my store-bought commercial clothing is stripy. It's just not really me. But anyway, I'm really loving this. It is a fingering weight knit, so it is taking quite a lot of time because it's quite a small gauge and quite a lot of rows. But I am really liking that one, and that one I would definitely love to finish. Well, I'm going to finish all of them, but if you follow some of the same people as me, you know that Alana from Black Cat Knit Co or from Lupine Yarn Store is doing a Froggle Finish cal for January, and so I've been trying to think about which ones would I really like to focus on finishing within January and which WIPs I will continue to work on but not focus on quite so much right now, and this is one of the ones that I would really like to focus on. This project bag is by Mama Wooling as well. Absolutely beautiful. I love a drawstring project bag because I always get my wool caught in zips. This black one is actually in my Hohi Locatelli project bag that I got on Andy's Dash, and it is fast running out of space in there. It won't last for much longer. Right, so those are definitely coming with me. What else am I working on? So that's 2. Oh, this one's close by. I'll talk about this one. This one was like a, what would I call it? Just like a sporadic cast on when I bought a pile of knitting for olive yarn last year, and I just on a whim cast on a Ripple Cami by Jessie Made Designs, sorry. This is a Dusty Artichoke knitting for olive merino cotton, and I've got kind of like a third halfway through the body up on that, and I got distracted with other things. It was just like a spur of the moment. I finally brought some knitting for olive yarn. I need to cast on something. What should I cast on? So I haven't really paid any attention to this WIP. It kind of got started and very enthusiastically knit on for a few days and then put away. It is in this beautiful native New Zealand wool felted little project bag. It's got a tui on there and like a piwaka waka and a kiwi badge. And I brought this in Hamner Springs, I think. Anyway, so I'm holding 2 strands of knitting for olive, cotton merino and dusty artichoke. I'm holding 2 together and doing the DK modification for the Ripple Cami, which is bottom up. I have several of these that I've made and I find them really great, and this will be a really useful garment in my wardrobe once it's done, but it hasn't really been a priority, and I'm not totally sure that it will be for January either. It might focus more. I'd rather finish the Sailor Swift top, so I think I will focus on that one more so. But that one is definitely coming with me to get finished in 2026. If you've been around a while, you would have seen that in the middle of the last year in the winter, I did a cal with a whole pile of New Zealand podcasters, including Marina from Strawberry Patches, and we did the Kiwi Make Along, and I cast on a pressed flowers cardigan. And I was knitting on this so enthusiastically, and then got completely sidetracked on other things and haven't finished it. Yeah, so this is my pressed flowers cardigan. I have not picked it up because I'm kind of at that place where, you know, when you're in quite an involved knit, when you're doing it, it's easy, but when you pause for a while, it's hard to remember where you were up to, and it's hard to restart and get back into the swing of it. So that's kind of where I am with this. And so I kind of just need a quiet day to myself to kind of like pick it up again, find where I am at in the pattern and carry on. So, oh, this is going to be hard to show, but oh, it's so beautiful. 100% this is a finish. There's no frogging going on here. This is Pressed Flowers Cardigan by Amy Christophers. And I have finished the lower body portion and one of the fronts. And you can see I have started on the other front, and then I need to do the back, top of the back, and then do sleeves and button bands. So there's still a lot of knitting to go on this. This is mosaic knitting, so it's actually quite slow going. But it's absolutely beautiful. I am using a Fade yarn set, which is the first ever hand-dyed yarn that I brought for myself. Brand new, and it is by Marmalade Yarn Co, who's a New Zealand hand dyer, and there we go. That's the 3 skeins that are a fade. It's a high twist merino nylon, so it's a sock base, but I'm using it like this. This pattern is written for sport weight, so but this is like a heavier fingering. And then for the main colour, I am using this, which is a 100% merino dip dyed skein from Skeins. It's one of the limited edition dip dyes. They're a commercial yarn brand who have just sold their mill actually, so they're no longer going to be producing their own yarns, but they're a New Zealand yarn company who did have a mill and did their own and dye house. And so they dyed this, and then I'm holding it along with a strand of mohair in smoky quartz colour, so they go together really nicely. This was a trial run mohair. They ended up changing the composition of the base, so this is not purchasable, but I had a bunch that they sold off really cheaply at the time. So I kind of have a DK for one strand and a fingering for the other, but the gauge is working out beautifully for a sport weight gauge. I think I cast this on in July, the very beginning of July, maybe. And I just love it. Like I mentioned, I have some days coming up, some days off coming up at the end of January when my kids, on the first week of February, when my kids have actually started back at school. And my hubby has to go to, sorry I'm just adjusting this a wee bit, see if the lighting's better. My hubby has to go to Melbourne for work and can't really work shifts with no one home overnight. So I took some annual leave, and so I am hoping that I will be able to take one of those days when I'm home alone and I've got a few hours, not just a few minutes, to kind of find my place and get working on this again. So potentially not a January finish either. I think even if this was my sole project, I would still struggle to get it done in the second half of January because it's already the 12th. Because I'm still working 4 days a week, and shift work kind of just takes up more than 8 hours of your day, I feel. Anyway, but that one is absolutely stunning. I'm in love with it and I cannot wait to get back to working on this. I think it'll be really nice to have something more engaging as well, because most of my other knits are just stockinette, and that endless stockinette black in the round is going to get old very quickly, I think. Sorry, I'm still following my little list because my brain just can't keep up otherwise. I have the night shift shawl. This was on the whim cast on as well, near the beginning of last year, that I cast off. I think I finished the mystery knit along from the year before, the West Knits one, and I cast that off and I was just delighted with it, and I was like, there's a hole in my life from not having a shawl on underneath. I need to cast on another shawl. And I had this yarn in stash that I've been planning to do a night shift shawl with, and so I was like, right, I'll cast it on. So I did, and then probably got distracted with other things. It seems to be quite a trend here. So this is the Night Shift Shawl by Angela Mowry. It is Andrea, not Angela, Andrea. And it is the slip stitch mosaic, which this takes a long time to grow, these slip stitch patterns, but it is like a big, supposed to be ginormous, big, cozy shawl, asymmetrical triangle. And I am using Pulse by Skeins, which is a spin cycle dupe type yarn. So you can see that it's got multiple strands there that are all applied together to create different colorways. I have, and like with spin cycle, every ball is kind of a bit different. Like you can buy 5 balls in the same colorway and they can all look really quite different from each other. I have a bunch of different colorways and a bunch of different balls here that I am just cycling through as the whim takes me. I'm trying to keep one pinky toned one, because you use 2 colors at the same time and alternate between these big and little blips, and I'm trying to keep one or the other of the colors primarily pink and the other one changing. So I could probably say this is about, I mean, it's supposed to be a heck of a lot bigger than this, but I could probably call it about halfway done if I really wanted to. If I did it this much again, it would probably be really wearable. Once it was blocked, I think it is going to, like, there is quite a lot of stretch in it, so I think it will block out a fair bit. It's got, even with the I cords, it's like quite stretchy. I mean, I could call it done now and wear it as a bandana shawl, but it's just a little bit on the small side for that at the moment. And I would quite like it to be, my vision when I cast this on is for this to be a humongous, big squidgy shawl that I can take with me on my night shifts at the hospital in the winter. And so when it's cold at 3 a.m. and you're just sitting in the office typing your notes, you can have this big snuggle cuddle of colour to wear around your shoulders. So I'm quite keen for this to still be huge. And I have so much yarn, like this whole bag is just full of balls of yarn. So much here that I could make it huge. So again, not a quick finish potentially, but I think if I made this quite a primary focus, it would go quite quick. Because it's really fun to work on. But that's another WIP coming on in, which I really love. I have no intention of frogging because I really want the finished garment and it's a really fun knit. It's just that I've managed to, sorry, I just ate lunch before I came on, get sidetracked onto all these other things. So I would like to finish that one. Couple more things. I have a set of socks on my needles, of course, January socks. They need to get finished. They will definitely get finished in January. I have the second gnome, the Nana gnome, which is quite almost finished. I'll show you this one. So I have completed the body of this gnome, Miss Nana. As you can see, same sort of colours as Nandad. Now Nana comes with a big like cloak, hooded cloak, and so her hooded cloak is going to be this beautiful magenta-y pink. So she is going to end up looking majority pink by the time she is finished. So she still needs a nose, hair, arms, and this big hooded cloak. So she's probably halfway through the process of being finished to go along with Nandad. So I think I would definitely prioritise finishing her in the coming weeks in January. Because I mean, it takes a little bit of focus. It's a very, you know, you're using sock needles, you're using 2.25mm needles and fingering weight yarn, so it takes a little bit of time, but it's actually such a small project that once you get going on it doesn't take that long, and it's great for those hot days. I'm using this beautiful, actually Christmas, still in a Christmas bag that I got given in my Advent swap, not this year, just been the one before. Which I did with a lovely Australian knit, and it's got all these native Australian birds all over it. It's very cute. And I love that it has the see-through pocket. It's just a perfect little gnome bag. It's become a gnome bag. I don't even think I'll put it away. If I make any other gnomes, they will be in here. So that's my socks, that's my Nana, and two more to go. Now, these are quite ancient WIPs. But I do still love them both. Well, that's probably not strictly true. Let's talk about the one I don't love as much. This beautiful knitting bag has in it a previous test knit that I did for the Crayobear. This is called the Kip, and it was a test knit that came out, I don't even know when. Not even last year, I don't think, maybe even the year before. It is this herringbone slip stitch pattern that takes an absolute age to knit, so it's really wrinkled because it's been stuffed in that bag for a very long time. I almost finished this. As you can see, it only has one sleeve. I did some very, if you've been a long time viewer, you would have seen this because it has been within the time of podcast. Very strategically positioned, finished off two photos that didn't show that it only had one sleeve. Because it just takes a long time, and it's going to take a lot of mental space to get back into how to do the slip stitch pattern. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's too small for me. I signed up to knit, I think, size 2, which was already a bit on the small side, and I am bigger than I was 2 years ago. It's only got a 3/4 length sleeve as well. So it's the majority of a sweater. I really should just finish it. I can probably gift it to one of my daughters. They would probably wear it. Though it isn't 100% wool, which is not particularly soft, but it hasn't been blocked, so I'm sure I could get it to soften up. There are so many hours of work in this, and it's actually beautiful. It just needs another sleeve, which probably would only take a couple weeks if once I get my head back around to doing this stitch pattern again. And it wasn't that it was hard, it's just that it was very time consuming because slip stitches make a really small row gauge. I was using Highland Heathers by Skeins, which is 100% New Zealand wool, and it's heathered. I have a couple more balls of it here. And this beautiful powdery blue colour, it's called Scotch Mist. I really love the colour, and I really loved this design. When she teased it, I was like, me, I want to test it, me. I was so excited for it because it's so gorgeous, but it just never quite got done because once I didn't meet that deadline, then I had no motivation to finish it. Yeah, so I'm not very inspired to finish it, but I should. There's a push through knit. Like, I don't want to frog it. It's too beautiful to frog, but it needs a sleeve to be done. So that one's going to take some motivation. I'm hoping that as I get more and more of these WIPs finished and more and more of my needles cleared, that the finishing WIP frenzy will overtake me and I will be like, yeah, let's get the last ones done, and I'll be excited to do it. But we'll see. Again, it needs kind of a few hours of like quiet time to like find out where I was, find the pattern again, and work out, yeah, just get going on it, and then it will probably come together relatively quickly. The last one to show you is my Stella quilt blanket. This is turning out to be a very long podcast. I thought this would be quite short. Sorry, just watched in parts, guys. This is my Stella quilt blanket, which is in this humongous project bag, which I got from another Advent scrappy swap. I love doing a scrappy swap Advent. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. This bag is all about me, and I have had my Stella quilt blanket in here for probably over a year. I started this after I finished my what's it called? The other one by Laura Penrose. Oh, why can't I think of it? The one that I made with my Hobbit Advent. Sweet Shop. I know it can't. The Sweet Shop blanket. So I made the Sweet Shop blanket, and as soon as I finished that, I was like, whew, now she's released the Stella quilt blanket. I really want to make that, and I want to make it out of scraps. And I spent a whole year in 2024, I think, collecting mini skeins and scraps and pink yarns to make it entirely pink Stella quilt blanket. And then I got started knitting on it. I was going to do it as my Advent project last year, but I got excited about it and cast it on, not last year, not in 2024, but I got excited about it and cast it on before Advent, and then got caught up in doing other blankets, like my Battenberg and my other test knit for the Crabbe, the Huli, and so this one has not got back to being worked on, but I adore it just as much as when I started, and I have a whole basket over here of scraps and leftovers I've got put aside for this blanket. So I'll show you the squares that I have completed. This was the first one I did, and all these beautiful corally pinks. I'm doing this particular star shape throughout. It does have two in the pattern, but I've decided to do the same one throughout. Then I did this one, and these more purpley, magenta-y pinks. I'm trying to alternate like a solid and either a variegated or a mild. And there's this one, which is more corals, but a bit lighter and a bit more peachy. And those are the 3 that I completed, so there's supposed to be 9 in the version I'm doing and I'm planning for. I have enough of the base colour, this sparkly grey, to do 9 of these. And it was such a miss, you know, like I think I had 6 in my stash and I decided that 6 just wasn't going to make a blanket size. So I needed 9 and I went trawling. It was a knit crate yarn that I got in probably 2020 or 2021, and I've since long gone out of business. And I managed to find some more of this beautiful grey, the cashmere merino, and it's got stellina in there. I don't know if you can see the stellina, but it does have a silver sparkle. It's a cashmere merino stellina blend, and someone stashed from somewhere like Norway or Sweden or something, and we agreed to do a yarn swap, and I sent her some New Zealand yarn and she sent me her knit crate yarn, which worked out really great. It is a different batch, but you can't really tell in a blanket. So I started the next one, and I have the first couple of squares started on this, and a bag of yarny bits. This one's going to be more like a hot pink with a few rainbow speckles and things in there. One. So it's going to be so beautiful. We've purchased a grey couch to go out here in this studio space, and it's like a sofa bed couch from IKEA, and I have anticipation of this blanket living on the back of the couch out here, because the grey with the grey and oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm super excited to get back to this, and I have so many ideas about using my advents from this year and other blanket plans, but I chose not to cast them on because I really want this blanket to be finished before I start another blanket. So there's still 6 big quilt squares to make, so that's a big project, and I will not be trying to finish that by the end of January, but it is definitely going to get done. So if I think about the year as a whole, and think about make 9, if I think about a year, it's 12 months, right? So if I think about a make 9 being 9 months, it's a garment a month. It's usually achievable for me, unless it's super complicated or I get super distracted. So that kind of gives me January, February, March to get through all my WIPs and then start my make 9 from April through to December. That is kind of my thoughts. So I have a lot of work to do. I think for January I'm going to prioritise Sailor Swift. I'm going to prioritise Nana Gnome. I definitely want to get those done in January. I'm going to keep working on my Lanark. There's no way I'll get that done by the end of the month. At least I do not think so. But I'm going to keep working on that because that is a test knit. It needs to keep having consistent work on it or I will not get it done. And also my January socks, which I haven't shown you yet, have I? For these ones I am doing, I talked about having the Mama Wooling Yarn Club all of last year, and from the leftovers of that I have started making scrappy stripy socks. So this travels through the whole year, 12 months of the colourways. And I've just used an undyed white for the heel, toe and cuff. And so I have 5 rows of each colour and then the heel, and then repeat again 5 rows of each month for a 60 row leg and a 60 row foot, because 60 rows is what fits my foot best, and then a toe and a heel. So I finished the first one and I am almost through the first repeat. I've got 4 colours left of the second one. Like, I don't super love how the colours all transition together. Like, there's certainly not a fade. They're all so different from each other, but it's really fun, and I had the intention from the beginning to make a pair of socks that incorporated all the colours of the year but at the end. So that's what I'm doing right now. They will be lovely. I am using the technique from the Sock Project by Summer Lee, because I got gifted this for Christmas, and she has a technique in here for how to weave in your ends as you go for stripy socks, and so I'm using her technique to do this, so it'll be really interesting to see how that works out, because historically my ends always come undone on my stripes when I change colours a lot. But I find the technique really good and really easy to use, and hopefully it will mean I don't have a gazillion ends to weave in at the end. Yeah, there's lots of ends on the inside, but you just trim them if it all works out. So that's definitely going to get done in January as well. So Sailor Swift, Gnome, socks, keep working on the lanark. That is what I would like to have done in January, and then I will keep working on the pressed flowers, the KFO, the knitting for olive ripple cami, the night shift shawl, the Stella blanket, and the kip over February and March. And then hopefully by the time we get to April, or hopefully mid-March even, we will have relatively clean needles to go into the year of the rest of my Make 9. I'm not going to take you through the 9 sweaters that I have on my Make 9 to knit, because we are already at like 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and I still want to talk to you about my gift knits, so which are a little bit more loose, but I'll talk to you about a little bit around them, and I'll make a separate video about my Make 9, because I do have yarn in my wool wall for all 9 of these sweaters that I plan to attempt to make in 2026, at least some of them, and so I will make another video about what those patterns are and what yarns I intend to use for them. But in terms of what I want to gift, I'll give you the list of people that I want to make something for. I'm obviously already making the lanark for my husband, so 1 sweater a year for a 6'6" man is all that I am committing to. So he is getting that one, so he's not actually included on this list, though I guess I could include him if I wanted to. I talked to 2 of my sisters who are both very knit worthy, and I've knit for them in the past, and asked them if they would like anything knit for them this year, and they both would. So my sister Jess would like a colour work pullover vest with a V-neck, so I'm looking at some options for what I can knit with that for her, and I don't know if you can see it. And in here I have some possum blend New Zealand yarns. I have like a teal and a navy and this like purpley red and like a natural, and I have a real light natural as well. So I'm thinking I will use these because that's kind of the vibe that she sent through on her inspiration picks, and as a full like feral colourwork vest. My other sister Sonia would like a open like cardigan. She said in any colour that I have too much yarn in. So I've yet to decide what colour it will be. Probably a neutral natural, kind of like these neutral natural kind of colours, or I have quite a lot of black. I have a deep navy blue cone that I could use. I could do like a soft creamy natural and then hold it with a mohair, like a cream mohair or a pale pink mohair. She wants it like past your bum length, like a long line open cardigan, like that you throw over anything. So I'm thinking I may do the stick season cardigan, which I test knit for the Crayer Bayer, not the Christmas gone, the Christmas before, because that was a great pattern. We'll see. I've got to work out still what I will make for her, but that's the kind of vibe. I have 3 daughters, and I would like to make each of them a jumper this year. My daughter Ella is hugely into panda bears, and so I am going to knit her a green jumper, because green is like bamboo. Because she likes pandas, she likes bamboo. and I found a like stitch pattern for a bamboo dishcloth, like a bamboo looking dishcloth, which I'm going to try and incorporate into like just a raglan sweater for her in a pretty green. I will probably be able to show you if I tilt this up. Do you see right next to the pinks in the corner, just here, this green here I'm going to use for her. It's a fingering weight, so I'm probably going to hold it with a mohair, like a really natural fawny coloured mohair. So I'm going to make her a bamboo inspired sweater. My daughter Cara, she loves bunny rabbits, but she has said that she would like a white fluffy jumper. So I'll be using, it's not actually visible, but I have some like bleach white superwash merino, and I'll probably hold that with the leftovers from doing my hurley blanket, the zigzaggy one. Again, up in the top corner there, in that cream over here, I have some DK weight brushed merino that's super fluffy. Totally gives Angora rabbit vibes. And so I'm going to knit her a white jumper with that, and she would quite like, I found this cable motif that you can make look like a bunny rabbit, so I think I'm going to do a round yoke sweater for her and try and incorporate these bunny rabbit cables around. Still just all in white, so it's subtle, but a bunny rabbit white sweater. And my daughter Rhea, she loves rainbows and purple, and she would like a sweater with her name on it. Which I think is so fun, so hilarious. I'm going to make for her a round yoke sweater as well, colourwork round yoke with her name, Rhea, and colourwork across the front of the yoke, and then she would like stars all the way around. So that is quite funny. I am looking forward to making that. I will just use a like grid chart to make up a colourwork chart for that. Yeah, and she wants it in, what did she say? I think she wants it in purple. Not sure if we've settled on colours yet. I think she would like it in rainbow. I don't know how we could make that work, but we will work on that. She would like, you know, Kudavakika has that colourwork sweater that says stitches across it. Like there's lots of colourwork yokes that have like writing on them. She wants her name. I think that's such a 7-year-old thing to want, right? Anyway, so that will be really fun, and I've tried to come up with ideas for each of them that are kind of different. So one will be a colourwork yoke, one will be a cable yoke, and one will be like a textured stitch raglan. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to those. I'll make something for my niece Lila. This is Sonia, who wants the long line cardigan. She has a daughter Lila who will be 1 this winter, so I'm going to make her a little top. My sister sent some inspiration pics for something like a little Henley with a collar and like a purpley colour, so that'll be her. And then my friend Helen, I have been intending for about 18 months to knit her another sweater. She brought the yarn for it, and I have it. It's right here. It's this Kelly & Co in this burnt orange colourway, and there's a soft grey, which might not be in this stack. It's somewhere, not here, because it's in a skein knot. Oh, it's here. This, you can't see that. Sorry. In amongst that cream, you can see there's a couple of grey skeins right on the right hand side. Those are the grey. So she's going to have a colourwork sweater, one of Jen Steingass's ones, with the main colour being this burnt orange, which is not that bright as it looks on camera in real life, and the grey with the colourwork contrast. Sorry, I'm sitting on a big bag. Sorry if you can hear that wriggle around. So something for my 2 sisters, my 1 niece, my 3 daughters, my best friend Helen, and then that's 6. And so then I would like, I've kind of tagged 3 pairs of socks for my other 3 gift knits. I always find people to gift socks to. I mean, if I get caught, I can really, you know, if I run out of time, this could always count as pair number 1, because I'm going to give this to Helen. I mentioned I made some socks for Helen's mum. Had I finished them? I did anyway, and gifted them already. I can put in a picture if I didn't show you those last time. Can't remember if I finished them yet or not. Anyway, they were beautiful. They were in Prosper yarn, sock yarn, and this beautiful, like, oceany colourway. So I could make more socks for her. I've got heaps of my work colleagues who would appreciate a pair of socks, because I'm always knitting socks at work. Yeah, so I have heaps of people who I could potentially knit socks for, and I'm going to be knitting socks every month this year. I haven't signed up for another sock club. Oh, I still have acquisitions. This is going to be the longest video I've ever made. Anyway, that's what I'm going to gift some socks as well. It'll probably be more than 3 pairs. I'm intending to make at least 12 pairs of socks again this year, at least one pair of socks a month. My plan is to have a theme of stripy socks for this year, because I haven't done a lot of stripy socks. So I'm starting off with my Year of Socks stripy socks for January, and then I have this beautiful gobstopper ball from Handmaiden, who I've got the yarn club with. She said I can add in anything I like to my order and combine the shipping for free with my fibre club, so I might get one of these most months this year. This is a gobstopper ball of her merino sock yarn, merino nylon sock yarn. Look, comes with this cute little mermaid stitch marker. So these will be my February socks. I think that's quite Valentine's-y, don't you think? So that'll be my next pair of stripy socks. And then I've got quite a few commercial sock yarns. You probably can't, oh, they're right behind me. I've got a whole bunch of commercial sock yarns in here that are kind of, some of them are quite stripy and variegated. I've got another one of these that's all pinks that I could use. And I've got so many sock scrap yarns that I could do. I've got heaps of Advent skeins. So stripy socks are the colour, flavour of the year for my socks. And then my only other intention, which this is quite a big thing to talk about for the year, is I've come to the conclusion I own a lot of yarn, which I did know, but having it all beautifully organised in one space, and you can't even see it all in this frame, and these buckets are completely packed full, and I have a bunch more inside the house that I'm trying to de-stash because I couldn't fit it all. So I'm knitting from stash this year. The Fibre Club is the only subscription that I'm allowing myself. I'm allowed to have my Fibre Club because my fibre stash is much smaller than my wool stash. I do own a fair bit of fibre, but that's fine. We're having the Fibre Club because we need something coming in to keep me in check. And then my rule for this year is I can only buy yarn if I buy it in person. So no online shopping, which is where I buy most of my yarn, on online shopping when hand dyers have sales, when they have new releases come out, new collections, when skeins or wild earth yarns have specials going, or new lines come out. This is when I get sucked into buying more yarn. I haven't sat and counted up how many sweater quantities I have here, but it's a lot. And so I don't think I need any more. And I'm not big into knitting accessories, and if you have a look at the top of my wool wall, if I can tilt the camera, those top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bins are pretty much all single skeins, and the shelf below that are more solid are almost all sweater quantities. Everything else is pretty much a sweater quantity or a sock quantity. There's a lot of yarn. So only buying from stash. This means that I can still go to events like Capital Fibre Fest. I've also booked some flights to go to Auckland again for Wool Fest, so I can still buy in person at those events, and I can still go. There is a local yarn store, it's about 20 minutes from me, Holland Road Yarn. I can still go if I desperately need something for a specific project. I can still go shop in person. If I go over the Wairarapa, there's beautiful yarn stores over there. If I go travelling around and I want a souvenir skein, I can still buy that if I'm buying it in person. I just can't shop online. And that way I think it will reduce my buying, hopefully, to less than my making. I'm way more indecisive in person than I am online. For some reason, I will just like go, yep, I'm having that online. And in person, I'll be like, I'm not sure. Is that the one I really want? Is that the best choice that there is? I get a bit like, so that's good. That will serve me well. So I'm not doing any yarn shopping. The things for my sisters, I will be shopping my stash. I will be finding a way to make whatever it is they want from what I have. They both make similar sizes to me, so it shouldn't be too difficult to do that. I should have enough in my sweater quantities if I can bring myself to part with any of them to use for them. And that brings me to mostly the end. That was so much. I just wanted to quickly share with you right at the end here what it is that I want to do, what's come in. I've shown you that beautiful self-striping gobstopper. This is my fibre club from Handmaiden for January. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? So like I mentioned, she's doing birthstones and as the inspiration for 2026, and so this is Garnet, which is one of the birthstones for January, and it is 100% Corriedale. So I've got that stunner to spin up. I showed you the sock book, but I received this from my sister-in-law, the Sock Project by Summer Lee, which I'm really stoked to have received for Christmas. And then I did kind of Christmas gift myself. I had to buy a new phone like 2 weeks before Christmas because I dropped mine and it completely smashed up the screen, and it was going to cost almost as much to get the screen replaced as it was to get a new phone. So if this also looks a little bit different, it's because I have a new phone. So I didn't have any elaborate Christmas gifts, but I did, before I broke my phone, order the Christmas Eve box from Rainbows and Sprinkles. They do some beautiful, they're an Australian based yarn dye, and they do some beautiful like gift box situations, and this is what came in that. This was the Christmas Eve box. So this beautiful set of minis and this gorgeous soft, that's called Vintage Flora. So that's really beautiful. This is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon set. So I did gift myself that and opened that up on Christmas Eve. And along with that, she had a sale running. Oh, it also came with like this little rubber bow, like keyring case. That's quite fun. And some beautiful stitch markers and progress keepers. They're kind of bows and roses in similar colours. And when they had that on, so I brought that. She had a sale on, so of course I had to throw one other skein in, and so I got this because it was just so fun. Look at this. This is a DK weight sock yarn, and this beautiful flamingo pink flare it's called, and I've got 3 stunning little minis that go with it, and this a bright pink and rainbow DK weight sock yarn. So that's going to be super fun to knit up this year. So those were like a pre-purchase that then came at Christmas time. Well, in time for Christmas. I opened that up on Christmas Eve. And I did give myself one other thing, which was a bit extravagant, but nonetheless, I did. Someone on D-Stash, and I've been eyeing this up for months because she'd been trying to sell it for months, had a sweater quantity of Cardiff cashmere. The original Cardiff cashmere, not the prime with the silk like I'd purchased, but the original. And it was purple, and I've never really been a purple person, but recently really started to fall in love with the moody dark purples. And this sweater quantity had been on the D-Stash page for like, I don't know, a good year, and people had inquired but no one had followed through and actually purchased it. And she'd reduced the price to like almost $10 a ball less than you pay retail here in New Zealand. And so like by the time you buy 10 balls, it was like more than $100 cheaper than you would buy if you bought a sweater quantity of carded cashmere from any retailer. And so I just couldn't resist it any longer. And I knew that I was going into 2026 in a year that I wasn't going to be buying online, so that means I can't buy a D-Stash yarn. And I decided I just had to have it. It was one last hurrah. This is not a carded cashmere box because, like I say, it was from a D-Stash, not from a retailer. But this is my beautiful carded cashmere, 100% cashmere. It's DK weight. And this beautiful dusky purple. It's a little bit more muted than it's coming up on the screen. A bit moodier. But isn't that gorgeous? So I gifted this to myself. It's 10 25-gram balls, but a 25-gram ball has the same sort of meterage as a normal 50-gram ball. So there's 112 meters to 25 grams. It's a DK weight, 100% cashmere. It's a light DK / sport in terms of how it knits up. And I cannot wait to make something out of this. I have a plan. This is in my Make 9, unsurprisingly. And so I will let you know on my next video what I intend to make this stunning cashmere into. So bougie. And I could never have brought myself to pay full price for this. It's worth it. I don't doubt that it's worth it, but it's just so much money for one single garment that I probably never would have splurged. But it was such a good discount that I just couldn't resist it. So that I gifted myself. So there you go, people. This is like over an hour now of chat about what I intend to knit in 2026. There is so much. And we will just have to see how much we get through. I'm still going to be working. I've finished my new graduate year now as a midwife, so I'm now just a regular rostered and rotating midwife, which is terrifying and exhausting, but good. I'm still going to be working 4 days a week, but like I say, shift work, when you're working nights, you often lose a day to sleep, so it's kind of, it feels like more. It feels like full time, even though it's technically 36 working hours a week. I've still got 3 kids to run after and a hubby and life, you know, life. And so hopefully I will get lots of knitting in amongst it. I definitely also need to focus in on drinking water and moving my body this year. And so I can't only sit on my bum and knit. I do need to do other things with my time and my energy as well. So we will see how we go. And I will come back and hopefully share with you. I have some more days off in a row next week, so hopefully next week I'll get a chance to record the video about what are the 9 sweaters that are on my top of my queue and what yarns I'm going to use for those if I get through all these other things I intend to knit in 2026. I'm sure at least a few of them will get sprinkled in there, but maybe not all 9, but we will see. Because knitting, I just follow the knitting inspiration wherever it leads me. And this year I will be following that inspiration to my stash. And whenever I get a bit down or a bit bored with what I'm doing, I'll come and cast on something new. That's on the list. Maybe. We'll see how well I keep to it. I'm not worried if I don't meet these goals. They're pretty light and loose goals. They are definitely intentions, but there's no beating up on myself if I don't meet them. They're just there as plans, as inspiration, and as to go into my knitting craft with intention and not just complete whimsy. Because we'll follow the whimsy, but it's nice to have intention as well. Alright, I'll be back at some point to update you on how my whip down is going, and I wish you all the very best. for the rest of your summer if you're here in the southern hemisphere, or I hope you're getting cozy and snuggling and enjoying all those moody days if you're in the northern hemisphere. And I will put in a little slide now at the end about who has won the mini skein sets. Please, if you could email me, my email address will be in the description below. It's RebeccaAnneKnits@gmail.com. Get in touch and I will get your prize sent out to you if you're the winner. Okay, all the very best for now. Best wishes and happy knitting. Ka kite anō.